Welcome to Sravz technical series. In today's session, we'll discuss the mutual funds fundamentals uploader. In the previous session, we were discussing the LangChain based Q&A session on mutual funds fundamentals data. So we covered that one in that session. To continue with the LangChain sessions, we need data for in our S3 bucket, so we can do analysis of that. So today we'll spend some time on creating an Airflow DAG that will get the data from the provider and save the data to AWS S3, and from AWS S3 we'll connect the LangChain and then query the JSON file. So today I'll quickly go over the DAG source code and the code base that is used by the DAG. This is the screenshot of the Airflow web server. I'll go to the Airflow web server. The DAG ran for a couple of days and then it failed today, but the DAG is up, and it uses the mapped tasks concept we discussed already. So that concept is discussed in the ticker fundamentals uploader section, where we used grouped tasks to create a group of tasks, and within the group of tasks we'll have tasks. So that way, so for example, if we have 1,000 tickers, we'll break down the 1,000 tickers into a batch of 100 tickers, and we'll send each 100 tickers to the as a task to the task group. So that way we can divide the workload onto the Celery cluster. So all the 1,000 tickers need not be processed on single worker. They'll be distributed to 10 workers, and each worker will process 100 tickers at a time. So this way we can parallelize the workload. So we are using the similar concept for mutual funds uploader also. So I'll not go through the Airflow specific details here because we already covered that in the previous videos in the Airflow fundamentals video. So today I'll just go at the very high level and just discuss the code base related to the mutual funds. So I'll switch back to the VS Code. So this is the DAG which we'll discuss today, and the DAG code base is already in the source code list, which is in GitHub, which is displayed here, but I'll cover the code base in the Visual Studio Code. So this is the DAG. We have a bunch of imports, and then we set some defaults. Then we put the DAG name as Sravz, upload mutual funds fundamentals. Then we run it every midnight. So we have the task and task group. A task group will have a bunch of tasks in it. We get all the mutual funds. We'll get all the mutual funds tickers from MongoDB, and we set cache is equal to true. If the cache is equal to true, we'll query the tickets from MongoDB first time, and then we'll keep it in cache for 24 hours, so we don't have to query the MongoDB again. So this way we can reduce the load on MongoDB. Also, the DAG is loaded by the Airflow scheduler every 5 minutes, so we don't want to hit the MongoDB every 5 minutes. So that's why we'll use a local cache for 24 hours, and we'll get the data from MongoDB once in 24 hours. And then once we get the tickers, we use sorted Python native function to sort our tickers based on Sravz ID. Then we'll break down the tickers based on the day of the month. So we'll break down the tickers into 30 or 31 parts based on the day of the month, and we'll only process that part of the total ticker list. So this way we don't overload the service provider and we exhaust the API limit. I'll go to the function. So we'll get the current day, and then we'll get the index within the list, and then we'll get that part to which that index belongs to. So that's how we'll get only a subset of data in the larger list of mutual funds. So once we get the ticker list, we'll batch them into max task in a list. So that is 10. So if we have 100 tickers, we'll break down them into 10 batches. So each batch will have 10 tickers. If we have 1,000 tickers, then each batch will have 100 tickers. We discussed all that in previous session. Then we'll send it to task group, which is a list of lists, and then we'll create a task which will get a list. So that's how we'll create a mapped task list. So if we go to the task group, then this is the tasks, and then it has a task like that. So if we go to the mapped tasks, since we have broken down into 10 batches, we'll have 10 tasks. So since it's counted from 0, we have 11 batches. But that's how we break down all the ticker list into a batch of tickers, and then we process each batch on the Celery cluster. So for example, this one is successful, and then it is loading the tickers. I'll switch back to the VS Code and list the tickers that we have uploaded so far. For example, I'll run that countable command again. So we uploaded 2972 tickers so far. As the days go by, since we have broken down into all the ticker lists into a batch by day, once we are through that 31 days in a month, we'll have all the tickers that are available at the service provider in our S3 bucket. So that's how we are loading the tickers fundamental data, which is JSON file, to S3. In the subsequent session, we'll use LangChain to process the JSON files we get from we stored in the S3. So with that, I'll close today's session. If you have any questions or comments, please reach me out in the discussion tab here or in the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.